It's 1,600 hours. All right, Mr. Warren, I'd like to call the Personnel Committee meeting to order for August 16, 2017, with courtesy of the floor. Yes, sir. Seeing no one, we'll move right into the agenda here. Review of the County Executive's appointments and reappointments to Lehigh Valley Planning Commission. This is a reappointment for Lehigh Valley Planning Commission of John Dia. I can't say that. That's Dionis with all those letters in there? Okay. Bethlehem, PA. Tom Nolan from Bethlehem, PA. Pamela Pearson, CPIM from Easton, Pennsylvania. And Michael D. Rep from Bath, PA. Let's see, the appointments are each being considered for a term to begin upon resolution and to end December 31 of 2017. And also on the next page we have Robert Lamy from Easton, PA. Mr. Lamy is being considered for a term to begin upon resolution approval and to end December 31, 2020. Lamy. If I say Lamy, sorry, Mr. Lamy. All right, so we got the top four are 2017, and Mr. Lamy is 2020. You got to get me tomorrow night, Bob, before I say that out loud. Okay. Is there any recommendations, any discussions on these reappointments? Any?
Just a comment. When I served on the Planning Commission, these folks were all there. They're all terrific people, and I wholeheartedly recommend their reappointment.
If I'm doing my math right, we should have done this for these people in December, because it seems like they were unappointed for the rest of for this year.
Right. A lot of times when the executive is up for election, they only do it to the end of his term sometimes.
Well, these supervisors, the public officials,
right,
are for a year. So
right.
They get around it that way. It's not a multiple-year tour. It's only a year.
Right.
So I think that this should have been done last year.
For this year. For this year, I understand.
So
but
like what we're doing now is testing them up. And it caught my eye, like I said, but why are we only doing this for the year?
yeah, sometimes they slip through. So probably January we'll be reappointing them all again for a year. They just, there's so many different appointments and things that come up. I imagine, you could lose them in the. And they stay appointed until they're replaced, I believe. If you're like appointed to a committee or something and you don't come up, you stay on that committee until you're replaced or reappointed. I don't, most of them do. I mean, well, they stayed, right? They didn't not go.
That's my question, and that's what got me going, because I do know all the people. So Ken Lott, his expired on 12/31. Let's still see Ken coming.
Kevin.
If I may.
Kevin Lott or who?
Yeah, if someone is in a role, if their term expires, they can continue in that role until a replacement is appointed or they're reappointed.
Yeah.
So, because it's never exact. So, yes, Kevin can continue to participate until he's formally either reappointed or replaced at that point.
Yeah, now Kevin's going to be a Hellertown councilman this year. He's on both sides unopposed. He's Republican and Democratically nominated on the thing. So he'll be an elected official then at the end of this year. So who knows?
Hey, John, can I ask you a question? This is my problem. I know all these people. So Kristen Borso, she expired at 12/31. Is she continuing?
I believe she's continuing. Yeah. Usually we'll go back and check with the board or the municipality, see if they're, depending who's putting them up, ask if they choose to continue, and try to get confirmation they're continuing with that.
I know it's been brought up by the Planning Commission that if people miss so many meetings, they're going to ask them to be removed.
And
there are
as
certain
the administration, we'll go back to like LVPC, ask for, should these people continue? Are they active? We don't want people sitting on board that are not active or don't show up, type of thing. And some we put them on and they with good intentions, but they make 3 meetings in a year, and it really, there's no value in that. When especially something like the Planning Commission, where we really need as many active participants as possible with that. Yeah.
All right, thank you, John. Any other questions, concerns? Somebody from the committee want to make a motion to approve? Okay, we'll do that for tomorrow night. All right, next thing I have is review personnel request Department of Human Services, Mental Health Developmental Program, and Early Intervention Division. It is hereby resolved by the Northampton County Council that the one position of Fiscal Officer 1, pay grade HS 38A, Step 3C, salary $50,623, be promoted to Fiscal Officer 2, pay grade HS-40, Step 5E, salary $60,368 in the Department of Human Services, Mental Health Developmental Programs, and Early Intervention Divisions, effective August 17th, 2017. Questions, concerns? Anybody have anything on this one?
Again, the way I'm reading this, we're not creating a new position. This is going to fill the position of hiring.
You're up.
Hello. We are not creating a new position. This is an existing position that was created by a retirement. The retirement did just happen the end of June, beginning of July, so we're filling that position.
My question is, I understand that this person would be going from pay grade HS 38A to HS 40, but my question is, why are they going from Step 3C to 5E as well?
You've heard talk about how the salaries are not aligned and how we are trying, as things come up, to align them, and that's part and parcel of what this is. This is a current county employee who has been invaluable, and this would be a promotion for her. This would include 2 more programs, 2 more funds, way more responsibility, supervising of 2 more people, and as such, the current dollar amount would be appropriate. It is also in keeping with the current landscape of what accountants and fiscal officers are paid, so therefore we are able to retain proper qualified people in the county. And this particular fund, the MHEIDP program, has 90% of the Human Services block grant dollars. So this is a key financial officer position, and I need someone who is well versed in it.
I don't disagree with the need for it, but I question, the 2-step movement, and I think Mrs. Ferraro has brought it up in the past, where this is something that we need to look at, because what's happening is, as we give people a 2% raise, we don't give them the step that they properly should be on. So I understand where you're coming from, and this person is probably deserving of it, but there's probably also a lot of other people that should get steps as well. So that's just my thoughts.
And there are, and we can't do it all at once, but little by little, we pay attention.
Any other questions or concerns?
I'm not disputing this, Ms. France. My question is, are there job descriptions for the position that this person is filling, and does she fit those qualifications?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
And it's saving the county $22,000 a year,
Exactly.
if anybody didn't read the fine print at the bottom. All right, I have no problem with this. Anybody else have any questions, concerns, discussions? Do we need a motion from the committee to put this forward? Thank you. Okay, so be it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now the next 2, discussion regarding the amendment of personnel request resolution, Department of Fiscal Affairs. We approved this quite some time ago, and we approved the wrong title, Recorder of Deeds, which should have been Financial Planning and Control. So let me read this. It is therefore hereby resolved by Northampton County Council that resolution number 124-2016 shall be amended as indicated hereafter. Sections marked with strikeout have been deleted. Sections marked with bold underline have been added. So I'll get to the end of it. It's further resolved that one full-time position of Accountant 2, pay grade CS 25-1A, salary $51,463 in the Department of Fiscal Affairs, scratch Recorder of Deeds, Financial Planning and Control Division, shall be created effective the first day of January 2017. This is kind of like I'm calling it a Scribner's error, as we all like, and we're not going to vote on this until the September meeting. This is being brought up, and then it'll come to full council, and we'll be voting on it for September meeting. And like I said, we approved this already. We're just changing the name from Recorder of Deeds to Financial Planning and Control. Any questions, concerns, motion? Perfect. Okay, we'll send this through for 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now, right? Yeah. September. Okay, next one I have here. Discussion regarding amendment of personnel request resolution, Department of Human Services Area Agency on Aging Division. Again, marked with strikeouts have been deleted. The sections marked with bold underline have been added. It is hereby resolved by Northampton County Council that one full-time position of Deputy Aging Administrator, pay grade, scratch HS 46-1A, add HS 43-1A, salary, scratch 65,923, add 57,769 in the Department of Human Services Area Agency and Agency will be created effective the first day of January 2017. Again, this was put through at the wrong pay grade, so you're saving money. $8,000.
Yeah.
Make the motion. Any discussion? Motion. Second. Okay. We'll put it through for again, this one is also going to be voted on in September when you see it come up, okay? So, all right, looks like that's up to number 6, and that's the adjournment. Thank you for participating.
All right. On the conclusion of the Personnel Committee, we will commence the Finance Committee meeting. Is there anybody for courtesy of the floor to the Finance Committee? Seeing none, we'll move on to the first item on our agenda, which is a review of the Article 13 contract with KC Mechanical. And Mr. Rouges, are you here to address that particular item, I believe? And this is for the high-pressure steam line.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
This is for the high-pressure steam line that was on the back burner for probably 6-7 years, as everyone has known. KC Mechanical is a very reputable company in Mount Bethel. Been doing a lot of work for us at the prison and has strong expertise in this high-pressure situation. I'm not even a novice because it's awfully difficult and dangerous, and we trust these people immensely.
Okay. Do anybody have any questions? No? All right. Any recommendation to move forward? So moved. Very good. Thank you, Mr. Rouges.
Thank you very much.
Next one is the Controller, Mr. Barron. How are you, sir?
Good evening, everybody. How are you?
Very well.
So this report is just a follow-up to the DCED grants audit that we did earlier in the year. The first recommendation number 1, documentation of policies and procedures for grant processes. This is something we flagged in the audit because policies and procedures are very, very important. We want to make sure we have everything documented in that process, how the grants are administered, so that way as we go through, if people are moved out of positions, replaced, things get changed around, there's a working document in the office for everybody to understand and pick up where old folks left off, new folks left off, and the new staff over there are working diligently on that. They've taken steps to compile an extensive department policies and procedures manual. And as new programs come out, if they have a template in place, which is what it looks like they have now. They'll be able to add and enhance those policies and procedures. I know there's a bunch of new grant projects and things that they're looking to do in that department, so hopefully they'll be able to keep their policies and procedures up to date relatively quickly with the templates that they're building. So basically it's going to be a copy and paste operation once somebody puts together the policies and procedures. And that's sort of what we have in a lot of the departments now, which we're very happy about. So any questions about that recommendation? We won't be following up on this. It's pretty much in place and moving forward.
Okay.
County's responsibility for adherence to application guidelines. So DCED must ensure that the county's federal, state grant requirements and deadlines are met. Management should carefully review all county grant submissions and reporting requirements and develop policies and procedures to ensure that adherence. As you may remember in the report, there was a little bit of a compliance issue with some of the grants that were coming in. We played catch-up a little bit, and we were able to stave that off. The department has made the corrections, specifically in the CDBG performance plan. So we're not going to see any of those issues, and it's not going to put any of that money in jeopardy anymore. So no further follow-up is planned. And then last but not least, monitoring grant recipients. Some people might hear this term subrecipient monitoring. That's another way we usually put it. DCED should review various grant programs administered by DCED staff and grant agreements between the county and the recipients, and develop a monitoring system that best suits each grant program. Monitoring should be performed on a consistent basis. And the staff has sort of been updating that constantly. They're doing an excellent job on that. Part of a lot of the money that DCED gets, sometimes it's like a one-time grant. Sometimes it's multiple years. Sometimes a recipient receives the grant once and never gets it again. Sometimes they get it over multiple years. So as you can tell, there's sort of a hodgepodge of people that get money from our DCED department. So finding a system and solution that fits every program is difficult, but they're doing the best that they can in that department. So, and they've taken the corrective action needed. We're very confident with the way they're monitoring subrecipients. And when people come up to me and ask me, "Hey, I got this grant from Community Economic Development. What's the best thing I can do?" I always say, "Account for all the money, because I'm going to be looking at it." So,
Great.
any questions?
So you're comfortable that everything's being tracked properly?
Yes,
Okay, that's
very
what
much
we're
so.
about. Anybody have anything for Mr. Barron on this? Mr. Phillips?
I agree with this, and I've said that I think that Tim and his group have been building and flying the airplane at the same time. In other words, they've been going ahead and doing what needs to be done with not all the processes like the flight like
Yeah.
They don't have all the processes in place, but they're building them and trying to keep as honest as they, not keeping as honest as they can, but to process it as much as they can. Bob and I have been spending a lot of time on it.
Yeah, that when
Every time I ask them questions, they either have it or they're in the process of.
And we've had situations before where money's been given and grants have been threatened to be held up, primarily because a project hadn't been monitored closely enough. One of the things, there was a housing development project, I believe it was in Southside Easton, and it was being facilitated by the Greater Shiloh Baptist Church. Day one I came in, and there was not a lot of subrecipient monitoring and a ton of problems. And the federal government said, we're not going to give you any more housing money under this community development block grant. And we said, what? So we scrambled a little bit with Lori at the time, Lori Sawinski, and we fixed the problem. And it seemed like from the Stouffer administration through to the new administration until right now, we were always sort of patching things together. There's no more of that patchwork quilt going on anymore. There's like a system in place, and I think they're identifying problems, which is a testament to them. They're identifying problems before they become a real issue that can hold up funding.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Barron.
You're welcome.
I see nobody else. Very good. We'll move this forward to tomorrow night. We're good. Any adjournment? Anything before adjournment, I should say?
Yeah, we will proceed with the capital project. We have to take about a 10 minute.
Yeah, the recent video.
Come back